So the other day I did a video talking about my grievances with the Cowboys fan base and why we should not be pleased on what the front office did, and it's this cycle that we go. You go check it out if you didn't see it. But it's impeccable because the timing of when I posted that video and then the information coming out that James Washington's going to be out 6 to 10 weeks, unbelievable. And I have no pride in saying that whatsoever. And I hate the situation we're in. Now, am I freaking out? Not really, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But it's just unbelievable. Now, before we get started, what's going on, guys? Space Cowboy here. Welcome back. Another video for you guys here today. Before we begin, make sure to like this video. It takes less than a second to do, and it's greatly appreciated. It helps it do better in the algorithm. Also, subscribe if you're new, if you like the content, or keep coming back and hit that notification bell. If you have been living under a rock and or you just haven't been following training camp, guess what? James Washington's out 6 to 10 weeks because he has a Jones fracture in his right foot. So he's getting surgery as of when this video comes out today on Tuesday. And if the timing is correct, he should be back 4 weeks into the season. Now, I'm not very pleased at the situation we're in because of this fact. You don't have Michael Gallup probably for the same period of time or more. You have CeeDee Lamb, who's getting a lot of targets, which is great, and he's been looking very damn good. But now you're relying on Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, Simi Fehoko, TJ Vasher. Now, I'm high on TJ Vasher in terms of his potential, but I have to reel myself back and just say this to everybody. We have to understand that a lot of these guys are question marks. And the reason I'm not super sold or high or low is because we don't know, right? I really like Jalen Tolbert, and this honestly is the best thing that can happen to him. If you're TJ Vasher, this is the best thing that can happen to you. Same with Simi Fehoko, because this now pushes you guys up the roster, and I think this all but assures that TJ Vasher makes the roster. This all but assures that I think Simi Fehoko makes the roster for the intermediate until James Washington comes back. But look, you had a bunch of injury scares. You had Jaron Curse with the injury scare where we thought he was going to have a serious injury, but he's good. I already talked about Matt Waletzko's injury. If you didn't go check out that video, please make sure to check it out because he's probably going to need to get surgery and he'll be out for a little bit. So Josh Ball is going to have to step up. Did a video on that, so please make sure to go check that out after this if you want to hear my take on that. But the Cowboys need to go sign a veteran receiver. I don't care. Go sign someone. They cannot sit on their ass and act like what they have here is satisfactory. That's no disrespect to any of the players right here, but we gotta be real, ladies and gentlemen. This Cowboys roster does not have the time to play musical chairs at wide receiver. Remember what happened in 2018? Remember that, where we played musical chairs with wide receivers, and your best goddamn wide receiver was Cole Beasley? Now look, there is rumors circulating that Will Fuller's an option. Cole Beasley's a possible option. You have Odell Beckham. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, what I'm doing is I'm signing someone that is reliable or can hold on for the first 4 weeks and maybe sign another guy and just go with there. You know, I firmly believe the Cowboys, what they should do is sign a guy like an Emmanuel Sanders or a T.Y. Hilton, excuse me. T.Y. Hilton, and then on top of that, sign Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, Space, that's ridiculous. Why would they do that? Because, in my opinion, that ensures that you don't have to worry about your wide receiving core, and on top of that, it covers a lot of bases. Because this is why I was scared for the lack of moves the Cowboys made, and this is why I was afraid of giving them props, because of shit like this. And people want to sit back, relax, and act like, everything's fine. It's not. And it's not that we need to hit the panic button. It's more so that we need to act with relative urgency, but not panic urgency, where we're signing just anybody. Sign someone that's reliable. Sign someone that you know that is going to be here, not for the long term, but just to bridge the gap. That's kind of what James Washington was supposed to be. for the whole transition from the old wide receiving core to this one. But I firmly believe that getting a guy like an Emmanuel Sanders could assist with that. Again, I'm not asking the guy to be special. I'm just asking a guy to do his job and not have Dak throw to nobodies or a bunch of question marks. The biggest issue is now you're moving into week one, assumedly that no one else gets injured, knock on wood. You're walking into week one with a starting lineup wide receiving core of, Lamb, Tolbert, Noah Brown. Then you have Simi Fehoko, TJ Vasher, Kavontae Turpin of some order like that. Like, I don't know what to say other than you better hope to Christ these guys work out because you're fucked if this doesn't work. Oh, but Space Cowboy, you can't be all negative on that. We got this, that, and a third. I get it. I get it that Lamb's coming back. I get it that James... But we have important games, people. Like, we can't be like, oh, we'll be fine. You know who the hell we play in the first two games? We play Tampa Bay, which we're all aware of, and we play Cincinnati the legit following week. I still think Dallas will start 1-1, but, like, we got to stop this. We got to stop overhyping certain players. And I, myself included sometimes, the inner fan of me is like, but I'm like, no, I gotta stop. And so, let's we gotta think about this, right? Like, remember back in 2018 where we got rid of Dez because we felt like, okay, we can do better without him. And rather than just getting a elite guy in the draft and, okay, we got Leighton Vander Esch, you go get Michael Gallup in the later rounds, okay, whatever. But then you went out in free agency, you added Deontay Thompson, ass. You added Allen Hurns, not really bad. It was kind of just like Amari Cooper phased him out, and he really was like a Terrence Williams type of player where, like, it wasn't that he was a body catcher. It was that you had a solid 2 option that, honestly, you could have done better with. And then Cole Beasley, who's just a slot guy that really can't do much outside of that, and you act like, all right, guys, let's go win some games with that. And that lineup started you 3-4. And what's scary is that as Cowboy fans, we need to realize the situation at hand and just be real with ourselves. The Dallas Cowboys have a James Washington injury that really stretches their wide receiving core thin. Now, you're like, okay, well, what do we do? Now Mike McCarthy's not letting Lamb practice as much, which they shouldn't to begin with. You have Gallup and now Washington rehabbing their injuries. And now you're hoping that Noah Brown, who's having a good camp, can step up. You're hoping that other guys can step up outside of Noah Brown and Jalen Tolbert, which I'm not even including Tolbert because he's been doing fine as is. But we need to stop this, and we'll be just fine. We don't know. I'm not saying that people who say that are inherently wrong. What I am saying is we have to do ourselves a favor, lower the expectations, and realize who we have working with. And again, when going back to a comment, that I talked about in the previous video, you can't expect players that wear the star. Like, we overrate guys that wear the star sometimes because we feel like they're better than they are, but then we get, like, dose of reality straight to the head. I don't know, guys. I think that they need to sign someone. But it really feels like it's a we like our guys moment. The Cowboys were interested in T.Y. Hilton. I wouldn't be shocked if T.Y. Hilton's a Cowboy. So just keep an eye out on that, all right? And, that pretty much wraps up this video. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think the Cowboys should do? Should they sign somebody? Should they do something else? Should they sit and wait? Let me know. I'm really curious. So put a comment down below what you think. If you reach the end of this video, you are a real MVP. Thank you so much for that. Before you go, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. And most importantly, if you missed my last video, on the screen at the very end, you'll see the link to the last video. I suggest you go watch it if you like the content. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.